Good afternoon. Welcome back to another adventure to the Idaho Backcountry. Today we're going to be on stop number 13. We're currently at Bruce Meadows. So that was our 12th stop. So we're right here at Bruce Meadows airstrip. And we're going to be heading out to stop number 13, which is up here, Sulphur Creek Ranch. We're really close to stop 14. I'm going to keep these all separated, so normally these are just so close together. We'll probably overfly through this area and see that one first anyway, but today's stop is actually here to Sulphur Creek Ranch. So I'm going to go down in here and just kind of zoom in a little bit, and we'll take a look at the terrain hopefully in 3D. So you can kind of see that it's definitely a little bit of a valley, and the Sulphur Creek actually runs down off towards the middle fork of the Salmon. So we'll be entering in from the east and headed onto runways. This is a 10-28. So as we spin around here, we're kind of lining up to look towards the west and runway 28. So this is how we'll come into Sulphur Creek Ranch. We should have the creek off to the left and that pond up there as well. On our left as we're landing, and then we'll have the uphill slope a little bit and some woods at the end there. So that's it. Hope you guys are ready for this. It'll be pretty fun. It's a short flight, and we'll jump back in the good old Cessna 170 for this one, and we'll head on into Sulphur Creek. So today's stop, ID74 Sulphur Creek.
TAWS system test. Okay. TAWS system test. Okay.
When you want to get off the darkest ground, but gravity pulls you straight down. Earth from a bird's eye view. You should grow feathers and see this too.
Okay, welcome back. Here we are this afternoon at Bruce Meadows, and we're going to take off for stop number 13 off to Sulphur Creek. Let's get started. Go ahead and get batteries going here. Put our beacon and our nav and strobes on. And we're looking around, but what we'll just do, a courtesy, even though there's not a whole lot of folks around here, is we'll pop the window and we'll give everybody the clear sign. Also, I'm going to take a look down here. I think it's, right now, yep, we are on both tanks, so that's good for takeoff. We'll want to be, I think I'll look up here a second. I think our right tank is about half. I don't think we have quite that much in the left, so we will burn out of the, well, we do. Okay, so we're good. We're about half on both, so that's good. At any rate, we'll give a holler. Clear prop. Okay, and the Cessna 170 roars back to life. I just love this plane. It's really growing on me. And again, we're not going to be messing with the GPS at all today. In fact, if we were going to be more authentic here, we'd actually just turn that thing off and make it not part of the deal today. So we're going to go pilot Edge and Dead Reckoning again over to Sulphur Creek. So, and we've got set to, I believe we've got our radios tuned correctly. So let's go look here. 122.9, yep. And we'll back taxi, so we'll give a call out here and back taxi for takeoff on runway 5. So we'll back taxi on to 3. Really, we could probably just take off here. In fact, why don't we? 60 knots. We should be able to rotate now. Still need a little bit of work on our takeoffs in the 170. It's a little bit of a, seems to want to pull at times one way and the other, so anyway, it's a little bit of a tricky one, but it's getting better. I'm going to take a look at the heading here. So we're heading at 2-3, right? So let's go ahead and look out to the right. And we will roll around to about a northwesterly heading. And I need to look outside because I want to make sure we pick up some landmarks here too. Should be a road that heads off a little bit toward the northwest that we want to pick up, and I think I see it there. Alright, so yeah, there's the river and there's a road. So you guys remember we had kind of a little logging road or something to follow. I've actually been up this road before in a truck, and it's the way that you can head off to where you could pack horses into Sulphur Creek. Or hike in if you wanted to. Made part of the hike before, a couple miles of it, not the whole thing, but it's only about probably 5 miles from the parking lot I'll show you. So you go up this road, eventually there'll be a parking lot near Boundary Creek Campground, and then there's a little, you could keep going a little bit off to your right, and there's a launch for some of the rafting trips down the Middle Fork at Dagger Falls. So maybe we'll be able to spot some of that stuff as we go in there. But anyway, this is a road that you would come up. If you're driving in, you would come up through wherever you came from, Lowman or wherever, to get to Bruce Meadows. You get that kind of intersection there of a couple things coming together. And if you know which road to take, this road right up here, and we'll have a hard time following it the entire time, but if you can kind of see the valley, it's going to wind through there and then eventually kind of do a bunch of switchbacks up over one of the ridge to the left there. And then we'll follow it in. We should be able to spot the parking lot, though. There's a parking lot, kind of an oval-shaped parking lot, where you would, head off on your hiking or horseback trip or whatever. So see the road off to the left there, and we're just gonna follow this for a ways. It's not that far. And let's take a look at our altitude right now. We're at 7,400, and eventually we're gonna get clear over some of this stuff, but eventually we will be, I'll trim it out just a little bit here not to put so much back pressure on. There we go. Getting a little bit better. Anyway, I think it's like maybe 6,700, 6,800 at Sulphur Creek. So once we get around the park where we need to be turning, we can then start our gradual descent into Sulphur Creek. I think we'll get up to about maybe close to 8,000, between 75 and 8,000 on our way here. But again, we don't want to get up there too much. So you can kind of see, look down below that road we're following. And it'll start to cut back up over this ridge here. And I'm looking for landmarks, so when it goes over this ridge, and it'll kind of go into that next little valley down to the left a little bit. So kind of see us following the road. We're doing a pretty good job so far. Look at the terrain here. That's back towards Bruce Meadows. Here's that road winding through the top of this ridge, and it should start sneaking its way off down the left side here. And I think I see the parking lot ahead there. That's it right there off of our nose. And so I might go this way just for a little quick scenic tour, but that parking lot off to the left there is where you would start hiking off a little bit over that way and around this ridge into. So we're going to see that little airstrip there is actually Morgan Ranch, and this is the middle fork of the Salmon off to the right there. That's where you would kind of launch on some of your multi-day trips. So what we're going to do now is we're going to begin our descent in, and again, our next stop is going to be this strip almost. We're turning right off our nose here. That'll be Morgan Ranch. So we're at 7,000 now. And if we look off over here as we come around, we might see Sulphur Creek up that valley here to the left. So not quite into view, but I think I'm starting to see it right about now. There you go, right off there, just coming out from behind that hill. That will be Sulphur Creek. So 7,000. We're going to start to slowly pull some power back now. Keep our speed within the flap arc, and I'm going to put 10 degrees of flaps on, but you know, we're going to keep ourselves a little bit high and safe for the time being. There we go. Just a little bit of trim work to do there. Okay. All right, we need to get down again. So we'll start another. We'll put 20 degrees of flaps in now. We've got a little bit of altitude we can trade off for some speed here. So we're at 80 knots. That's fine for now, but definitely need to drop some altitude down. I'll probably slip a little bit once I'm assured we're going to make it, and I think we are pretty safely going to make it right now. I'm just pulling the power back a little bit here now, and yeah, I'll put all the flaps in now, and actually we're going to slip a little bit, so I'll put in some right rudder and some left aileron. And I've noticed that the 170 doesn't slip quite as well as some of the other planes I've seen, but I don't know if that's just my imagination or what, but and I think we're still good. We're at 70 knots, so we're kind of fast. We got plenty of altitude, so I'm going to continue the slip. See the threshold there, and we just got to get over that little creek there. Now we'll start to drop a little bit more, and we're going uphill slightly, so that'll work to our advantage here. And I want to touch down, not too long. That wasn't a great touchdown, but we'll. Okay, we're all right. So. Here we are at Sulphur Creek Ranch, and this is one of the ones I've actually been into in a 210, I think. So I came in here out of Cascade with it was Cascade Aviation, and a guy named Ray. Anyway, this is a pretty cool spot. My dad's actually done some work out here at these cabins to help make sure that they're ready for year-round operation. He's packed horses in here before and just worked out here a little bit, so that's the reason why we went in, just to kind of see what he'd been up to. But private strip, so we'd need permission to come in here, but this is Sulphur Creek Ranch, and they have an interesting backstory here, if I remember correctly, and I'm not probably going to get this super correct, but the gist of it was that this big old lodge off to our right, now it's kind of behind us, and we'll go up here to the end, because when you're trying to take off, you want every little last inch of this. We got a 3,300 foot strip here, so it's not too bad, but you're at a little bit of higher altitude too, right? So you want to be getting up out of the valley as quickly as you can and safe and all that. A lot of trees, and so you want to gain some altitude as quick as you can. I'll spin around here, and we're going to go park for a second and grab some lunch maybe. Anyway, this building on the left I'm going to show you is main lodge. Was at one time where they would train, I guess, some Army Air Corps pilots out here for maybe World War II era. You just do some bush training basically for that kind of type of flying. This would be a place where you could come and learn how to do some of those things. So I understand it was kind of a very interesting place at one point in time. A little crazy action going on out here with a bunch of hotshot pilots or something, getting trained up. So if you could just imagine. Now, I don't think it looked like this. This looks a lot newer and fancier than when I flew in. It was it almost looks kind of more modern. It was a big old-fashioned log cabin, and it had a wood stove in it that you could put an entire log in, like a trunk of a tree. So you just feed a huge chunk of a tree in there, and then that wood stove could burn for days, basically. So cool place, Sulphur Creek Ranch. I haven't been there in quite a while, so I don't know what the current status is right now, but it looks pretty cool here. And this actually is not the default scenery. So if you go to like flightsim.to, and I probably should give a shout out right now to, I think it's Milosanks, or let me go look that up really quick because I want to make sure that I'm kind of testing out this scenery here. It looks pretty good to me, much better than the default. So I might stitch in a piece at the end here so you can see the default scenery. Just kind of garbage, bunch of generic looking buildings, not what the place really looks like. So, but this is a much better looking Sulphur Creek Ranch. Pull that over real quick, you guys, so you can see some of the backcountry strips in here in flightsim.to. But this is ID74 Sulphur Creek, Milosanks, and a really nice job. So I encourage people to go over there if you want to fly this area, pick that up, and maybe donate a cup of coffee for the developer, and that would be a nice way to show thanks. It's really nice improvements if you see what it looked like before, and you see this. Bonus footage for those who are so inclined to see. But for now, welcome to Sulphur Creek Ranch, ID 74, and it was our 13th stop in our tour of the Idaho Backcountry. We'll be back pretty shortly, and we'll jump on to stop number 14, just to hop up and down over to Morgan Range that you saw on the way in. Okay? Hope you guys enjoyed.